Well, hey there. In this video, we're going to be making some DIY leather conditioner or leather balm, and it's just made with some simple ingredients. We're going to be using some beeswax, coconut oil, almond oil, grapeseed oil, castor bean oil, and some essential oils. So let's get started. The beeswax that we're using here is from my own hive. Yes, the bees did survive. And beeswax basically protects the leather. You can clean and render your own beeswax, and I'll link up to a blog post where I wrote about how I did that. Or you can pick up beeswax pellets online to make your own. So for this particular container, I'm only using about 1/4 cup of beeswax. And I'm breaking it up into small pieces because the smaller the pieces, the quicker it is going to melt down. Next up is the coconut oil, and we need 2 tablespoons. And coconut oil is responsible for softening and moisturizing the leather. So if you've got kind of older leather that's drying out, coconut oil is also good to kind of help give it a little bit more life back again. Along those same lines of nourishing and softening, almond oil also nourishes, softens, and moisturizes the leather. So I'm using 1/4 cup of this. So the more oil that you have, the more softer the balm is going to be. And it's okay to mix those oils in a container before we melt everything together. Now I will say, if you've got a tree nut allergy, don't use almond oil. You want to be using same coconut oil. Probably don't want to be using coconut oil either. Use something else. Olive oil is a good substitute, as is grapeseed oil. Just don't use nut oils if you're allergic to nuts. I'm using 1/4 cup of castor bean oil, and this is a much thicker oil, as you can see as I'm pouring it out here. And castor bean oil gives the leather a really beautiful shine, so that's why we put it in there, is to help bring back some of that shine and luster that you have in leather. Grapeseed oil is used as an antioxidant, so it helps preserve those oils and stops them from going rancid, and that can happen with natural oils, and you'll know when they go bad because they smell awful. So a little bit of grapeseed oil helps to keep them in the right state. You could also use a bit of vitamin E or vitamin E. That also helps to preserve some of the oils, as does a little bit of rosemary essential oil. So there's a couple of options there for you. Using essential oils when making leather conditioner isn't really necessary. It just makes things smell nice, so choose something that you like. If you are using essential oils, you want to be using about 1 teaspoon. Next up, I'm using a double boiler to melt the beeswax and blend the oils together, and honestly, I recommend using a double boiler. Don't try and use something else. A double boiler is the safest way to melt down beeswax. I picked mine up from the thrift store, and it was maybe $3 that I paid for it. So if this is something that you kind of want to get into, go to the thrift store and see what they've got available, because beeswax is notoriously difficult to get off your utensils, so make sure that you've got things that you don't mind segregating and using for these kind of activities later. Of course, beeswax and oils are highly flammable, so please, 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 please make sure that you pay attention to what you're doing and that you've got some safety precautions available in case things don't quite go to plan, let's put it that way. So please be safe when using hot oils and heating oils, and use the right equipment. So I have waited until the beeswax has started to melt, and then I've added the oils in, and I'm making sure that I get everything stirred together to blend it all thoroughly. And then add the essential oils at the very end after everything has melted, because that's going to be the best way to preserve the scent that's there, because the scent or the fragrance is very volatile in the oils, so they evaporate off very quickly. So you want to do that at the very end. Next, you want to carefully pour it into a container that you're going to keep your leather balm in. I've got these super cute metal containers that you can pick up from SKS Bottles and Packaging, and I will pop those into the links at the bottom, and then just leave it there to basically firm up and solidify.